Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Matt Garvey. We are here to talk about making comics today, and in today's video we're going to talk about rejection. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we start this video, I just want to do a massive shout out to my buddy J. Francis Totti, who's not only one of the best collaborators I've ever worked with, but he's also one of the nicest guys in the world as well, because not only has he just designed my new logo, but he also surprised me by doing my new little animation that you just saw as well. So Totti, thank you so much, dude. You're the best. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk about rejection, because guys, if you are going to make comics, you are going to get rejected. And I'm not just talking once, I'm talking a lot of times. And it doesn't matter if you want to put your comics out through, you know, like an Image or a Dark Horse or a Vault or a TKO or anyone like that. As soon as you start pitching your comics to publishers, you're going to get a lot of no's and you're going to get a lot of rejection. And it's not the end of the world. I know it can really feel like, you know, you're being crushed and all your creativity is being sucked out, but it happens for a reason. Now, I'm not saying when you do your first comic and you put it out there, it doesn't get snapped up by a publisher, because it can happen, and it does happen. Unfortunately though, for the majority of us, you're going to get a lot of no's before you get a lot of yeses. But the good thing about getting rejected is, do you know what? It's a rite of passage when you start making comics, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's all part of that comic making journey. And you know what, guys, even the greats get rejected too. I've mentioned him a few times on this channel before, but one of my personal heroes is Todd McFarlane. You know, he's the guy that co-created Venom, who you may have heard of. He was also one of the founding members of Image Comics, as well as the creator of Spawn, one of the biggest independent characters ever. And do you know what? Before he got his first job in comics, he was rejected 350 times. He posts this on Twitter quite a lot, and every time I see it, it warms my heart, because Todd is brilliant. You know, he's a great comic creator, a great writer, a great businessman as well. And if he can handle rejection, you can too. So do you know what, the way I see it is, if Todd can get rejected 350 times, I can too, and so can you, and you can still break into comics, and you can still make comics and get your comics out there. So how do you not let a rejection email completely crush you and break your heart and suck all the energy out of your creative cells? And the first reason to not let it break your heart is to remember, it's business, it is not personal. A publisher or an editor is not rejecting your comic because they don't like you, especially if you are doing what I said in previous videos by, you know, making sure you're putting out a lot of positive energy and you're being nice about creators and, you know, helping people and helping others. I mean, if you are a nasty person online, yes, they could reject you for that, but 9 times out of 10, if you are doing good work and being really, really positive, they're not going to reject you based on that. So don't take it personally. They are not rejecting you. All they are saying is, do you know what? Unfortunately, that comic is not right for us, or it just might not be not right for them at this time. Also, a publisher isn't rejecting you because you've made a bad comic, because you've not. The fact that you're actually making comics and putting comics out there and, you know, building your readership is only going to work to your advantage. Especially if you've done what I've said in previous videos and you've started small with like 4-page scripts and you've worked your way up to full-length comics, which means you're ready. So when you're ready and you've finally got that comic, you know, that script nailed down, and then you're paying your collaborators to produce good artwork, good colours, good letters, it means you're going to make a good comic, and a publisher is not going to reject you because of that. The reason why they're probably rejecting you is the comic you're pitching them just may not fit with the line of comics they're putting out currently or what they plan to put out in the near future. Because unlike us, when we get an idea for a comic, when I get an idea for a comic, you know, I think, oh, I've got an idea for a Western, so I'm going to write a Western this week. Or this week I've got an idea for a sci-fi comic, I'm going to write a sci-fi comic this week. Publishers don't think like that. Publishers are planning, you know, 12, 18 months, 2 years ahead of what they're actually putting out. So they have an idea of what they're doing ahead of time. And if your comic doesn't fit with that line of books that they're going to be putting out, they're going to reject it based on that. And why is it business and not personal? Because comics is a business. Everyone forgets. They always say, I want to break into comics. No one ever says that I want to break into the comics business. There are 2 sides to comics. Yes, there is the creative fun side where you get to build worlds and write characters and look at cool art and cool colours and great lettering and stuff like that. But publishers are not just putting comics out because they're fun. Publishers are putting comics out because they need to make money. So every decision a publisher makes is based on money. So they need to look at everything that's pitched at them, and if they can't see a return in that, they're not going to pick it up. So, you know, if you pitch them a Western and they know that Westerns, you know, at the moment are not selling well, they're going to reject it, because it'd be a silly business decision to say yes to it. And the truth of the matter is, and I don't mean this in a nasty way, so please don't take offense to this, sometimes it doesn't matter how good your comic is, because unfortunately, as you're starting out, you are an unknown creator to publishers. So it's a lot harder for them to take a risk on a book that doesn't fit with their line of books that they're planning to put out for the next year. It would be different if you were like a huge name like a Scott Snyder or a Jeff Lemire or something like that. You know, they could pretty much go to any publisher and go, do you know what? I'm going to put out a romance comic. And the publisher knows, because as a creator, they have a loyal fan base that's going to buy, you know, tens of thousands of copies of that book. For them, for the publisher, it's an easy decision to make. But because it's you or me, and we don't have, you know, that loyal fan base of, you know, hundreds of thousands of people that are going to go, yes, I want that book, it's going to be a no. So you are not making bad comics. It may just not be the right fit for that publisher at that time. Also, it's less likely for a publisher to pick up your comic if it's an anthology or a one-shot, purely because, again, you are an unknown creator to them and you don't have that fan base behind you. And, you know, comics take time to build up their readership. So if you're just putting out your first comic and it's a one-shot or a one-shot anthology, it doesn't have time. It's going to fall through the cracks, you know, of the comic shops. You know, they're not going to order it because they don't know who you are as a creator. You know, a great example of this is, you know, The Walking Dead, which we've all heard of, you know, and the first issue of that, you know, it only sold around 7,500 copies. And, you know, the second and third issues actually sold less than the first issue, and it wasn't actually until around issue 7, I believe it was, when the actual sales started to creep up and it went from, you know, 10,000 to 20,000 and so forth. So that shows you, even a behemoth like The Walking Dead, you know, it takes time to build that readership up and that fan base up. So if you are, you know, pitching a one shot or an anthology, it's probably going to get rejected as well. But that doesn't mean you can't self-publish it and put it out yourselves and sell it at Comic-Cons and sell it online and that kind of thing, because that's great for you, because it does help build your readership and your fan base. So definitely do that. And especially if, again, I'll say it again, if you have started small with 4-page scripts and you've got little 4-page comics and you combine them into one big comic, it's another book for you to put out to build yourself up. So you guys need to look at the publishers you're submitting your comics to, because you can't just blanket every single publisher out there and hoping that one of them picks them up. Because, you know, say you've done a family-friendly, all-ages comic and you submit that to Avatar, who are known for their hyper-violent, horror, gore, you know, action, that kind of thing. They're going to say no automatically. Or you've got people like, you know, Self-Made Hero, who actively say that they don't take superhero books. So you need to be smart of who you submit your comics to. Again, I've mentioned this website before. I'll put a link in the description. It's a list of some of the publishers, you know, that you can submit your comics to. Some of them are open, some of them are closed at the moment, but keep this website handy for yourselves and have a look. But also read their submission policies as well, because that's another thing that's really important, because every publisher has their own submissions policy. So, you know, some people want different things from different creators of what they want when you're pitching a comic to them. And if you get it wrong, it's gonna go. They're gonna reject it straight away, because if you cannot follow the simple instructions of their submissions policy, they're going to say no as well. So you need to have a bit more of an attention to detail with regard to the publishers that you're going to be submitting to. One great piece of advice I was given is you need to try and anticipate what publishers are going to be putting out in the future. And I don't mean you need to be a mind reader and go, next year all publishers are going to be putting out horror and Western comics because they're going to be really hot. Because you can't do that. You're not a mind reader, and neither am I. But what you can do is you can look at what comics publishers are doing now and pitch them something completely different. So try and anticipate or guess, you know, what the comics they might be interested in the future, while at the same time not replicating what they're doing right now, because they don't want the same comic over and over again. For example, one of the best comics out there at the moment is a comic called Department of Truth by James Tynion and Martin Simmonds. And if you are not reading this book, I would totally recommend it, so get your local comic shop to order it. But that comic is a conspiracy comic. So if you've got an idea for a conspiracy comic that you're doing, and it's going to take you between 6 and 12 months to get it done, because that's how long comics tend to make when you're first starting out, don't pitch it to Image. Why? because they have that comic already. And again, it's not saying that your comic is bad, but they don't want to replicate what they're already selling from an unknown creator. And again, I don't mean that in a nasty way, but you've got, James and Martin that, have worked on like Batman, Immortal Hulk, Punk's Not Dead, stuff like that. And you've got you as a creator, this is your first book. It doesn't make financial sense for a publisher to pick that book up. Now, I'm not saying don't make your conspiracy theory comic, because there are other publishers that may want to accept it. Because if you remember when The Walking Dead first hit and became a huge, comic that everyone loved, other publishers were putting out zombie comics as well. So, publishers will try and ride that wave, but you need to be smarter about the publisher that you're submitting your comics to. You know what? When I first started making comics, sometimes I would pitch a comic to a publisher and I might not even hear back from that publisher, and they are not responding, even with a rejection email, because they don't like me or they don't like the comic. It is purely because they don't physically have time to answer every single submission that comes through their inbox. Can you imagine how many submissions, someone like Dark Horse or Image gets in a day or a week? We are talking thousands and thousands and thousands. So, if you pitch something to a publisher and you don't hear back, wait 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, assume that it's not accepted and move on and pitch it somewhere else, and just keep doing that. And if you do get a rejection, keep your chin up. It does not mean you've made a bad comic. It just means it doesn't fit their strategy for going forward. And you know what? Every time I actually get a rejection email now, I consider it a win. And you should too. If you follow me on Twitter, and you should, every time I get a rejection, I always post it, because there is no shame in getting rejected from a publisher. It's all part of the process. That's changed for me now, because I've gone from getting standard rejections from publishers to actual personalised ones from editors I've been pitching to directly. And I've even got to the stage now where I've been rejected after what's called an editorial panel. Editors will sit around with the comics that they've been submitted that they like, and they will look at their plans for the next 18 to 24 months and try and pick the comics that they like and see if it fits the strategy going forward. And I've been rejected at that stage as well. So I still consider that a win, because I've gone from hearing nothing to hearing something to now going nearly, but it doesn't fit what we're doing. So, and that can happen to you as well. So you just need to make your comics and put them out there, grow your readership, and just keep submitting to people. And if you get a rejection, keep your chin up. It does not mean you've made a bad comic. Okay, so the biggest piece of advice I need to give you is, even before you start submitting your comics to a publisher, you need to be critical about your work. And this is not me trying to poo-poo on your comic, because the fact that you've made a comic is absolutely fantastic, and I'm proud of you, and you need to keep doing it. Don't stop, because making comics is so much fun. And this video, I've told you that, you've done great writing, great art, great colours and great letters, but you need to decide, have you? And that's not being negative on your work, but you need to look at, if you want to submit your comics to someone like Image, you need to lay your comic out next to an Image comic and just compare. Just make sure that, in your art, the anatomy is correct, all the heads are the right size, or the perspective on a building is correct, or that kind of thing. That your lettering is good, the towels on the bubbles are all the same width and stuff like that. These are little details that, yeah, it might not be the reason why that publisher will reject it, but the better quality book that you put out, if it's as good or if better than what they're currently putting out, you are going to have more of a chance of getting picked up by that publisher. So put out your best work and always submit your best work, because I'll be honest with you, one time I submitted a comic to a publisher, and this is when I first started doing my lettering, and my word, did the editor, she ripped me a new one because of my lettering was so bad, and she was so right to do it, and it's a lesson I learned the hard way, and it's a lesson I want you to learn now before you've even done it. So just compare your comics, be critical, and you know what, it gives you time to go back and change things that may not be right, because when you put your first comics out there, you are so excited that you've made a comic, and again, you should be, because you've done a wonderful thing. But sometimes we don't see the mistakes that we've made in our own work. Ask some friends that you trust that will give you an honest, critical eye, and not just blow smoke up your bottom, to give you honest feedback and explain, where it can be improved, and try and improve it. And then once it is at that level where you think that quality is absolutely fantastic and it's as good or if not better than that other book from that other publisher, then you submit it. then you will have a better chance of getting it picked up. So the lesson I want you to take away from this video is there is nothing wrong with getting rejected. It is all part of the process and is a rite of passage that we all go through. In fact, when you get rejected, and you're gonna get rejected, I want you to wear it like a badge of honor, okay? So if you get a no from a publisher, again, it doesn't mean your comic is bad, it just means it's not right for them. So what you do is you don't let it get you down, you pick your chin up and you submit it to somewhere else while you're making other comics, okay? Because if I can make comics, you can make comics. I will see you in the next one. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to give us a like, share, a subscribe and a thumbs up. You take care of yourselves.
You